Breaking news. Atlanta's nightlife just turned into a full-blown war zone. And yes, it involves Kirk Frost, Young Jock, and Lil Scrappy. You thought your Saturday nights were dramatic? Think again. Imagine this. The city's hottest nightclub. Music pounding, strobe lights slicing through the crowd. And suddenly, boom tempers flare. Glasses shake and the air crackles with tension thicker than a triple-layer cake. What really went down between these hip-hop giants? Was it just words? Or did things get physically out of control? Sources wink wink? Totally Anonymous are whispering about a confrontation. So explosive that even the bartenders were allegedly hiding behind the champagne bottles. And the crowd. They didn't just witness it, they captured it. And now the footage is making the rounds, turning the nightclub into the epicenter of a viral firestorm. Could this be the fight that defines 2025 in Atlanta's celebrity scene? Or is it just another overhyped drama designed to sell clicks and stir chaos? Stay tuned, because over the next few minutes, we're breaking down every shocking detail, juicy rumor, and scandalous claims surrounding this nightclub showdown. You do not want to miss what really happened behind those velvet ropes. Atlanta's nightlife exploded last night in a way that no one saw coming when Kirk Frost and Young Jock stepped into the city's most elite nightclub, not for a casual night out, but with intentions that could only be described as calculated and explosive. The club was packed from the front door to the back VIP booths. Music pounding so loud it felt like the bass could rattle your bones. Strobe lights slicing through the crowd, illuminating the sweat, champagne, and anticipation hanging in the day. And in the middle of this chaos stood Lil Scrappy. Magnetic, confident, and completely unaware that two of Atlanta's most prominent figures were about to challenge him in a way that would make the entire room hold its collective breath. Kirk and Jock moved with precision, scanning every table, every face, every angle. While Scrappy laughed, raised glasses, and interacted with fans, completely owning the space he was in, as if nothing could touch him. Insiders who claim to be extremely close to the inner circles of all three men hint that the history between them is far from friendly. That there have been whispered tensions over deals gone wrong, subtle public jabs, and backstage grudges that simmered just beneath the surface. And what began as a night of music and celebration quickly turned into an arena for power, status, and reputation. People around the VIP section started to notice subtle shifts in behavior. A glance here, a tense lean there. Words exchanged in hushed tones that carried the weight of past conflicts. And suddenly the air in the room felt charged with something more dangerous than the bass pounding through the floor. Drinks were paused, conversations stalled, and phones started to appear, recording every moment of what could have become a legendary confrontation. The tension escalated with every step Kirk and Jock took toward Scrappy, their movements deliberate, bodies poised like predators, and as Scrappy finally sensed the energy shifting, a flicker of caution crossed his usually confident expression. His eyes narrowing ever so slightly while he continued to nod and smile to fans, trying to maintain his composure in the midst of the storm approaching him. By the time Kirk raised his phone and Jock mirrored him, standing shoulder to shoulder, it was clear to anyone paying attention that this was not a casual confrontation, but a showdown loaded with personal stakes, public pressure, and the potential to become a viral spectacle that would dominate headlines and social feeds alike. The crowd, sensing the impending explosion, leaned forward, some frozen in awe, others recording, their whispers growing as the realization sank in that they were witnessing a high-profile standoff that could define the night, the club, and possibly the careers of everyone involved. The DJ continued playing as if nothing had changed, but the music became background noise to the drama unfolding at the center of the room. And in those tense moments, the club transformed from a place of entertainment to a stage for status, influence, and ego, and every eye in the room followed the three men, wondering how far this would go before someone finally intervened. The intensity was palpable and the anticipation electric as Kirk and Jock closed in on Scrappy, who now stood fully aware that this night was no longer just about celebration. And every second that passed seemed to stretch longer as the city's most talked about figures prepared to confront each other in a way that nobody present would ever forget. As the tension in the club continued to rise, every movement of Kirk Frost and young Jock seemed deliberate and charged with intention, while Lil Scrappy tried to maintain his usual confident demeanor, but subtle signs revealed that he was sensing the storm approaching with each step that the duo took. Toward his VIP booth, witnesses claimed that Kirk pulled out his phone to display what insiders are calling receipts, and although the details were never fully visible to the crowd, the mere act of holding up the device sent a ripple of shock through everyone present, and rumors immediately began circulating that these were messages and screenshots exposing private conversations and alleged manipulations that had gone on behind the scenes for months. Anonymous sources described the atmosphere as electric and chaotic, with everyone from bartenders to VIP guests frozen mid-action, as if the nightclub itself had taken a deep breath, waiting to see what would happen next. The murmurs among bystanders hinted at previous incidents involving the three men, with stories of rivalries, social media jabs, and backstage drama that now converged in a moment that no one could ignore. And as Kirk and Jock stepped closer, the crowd instinctively parted, giving them room, and the energy in the room became almost suffocating with anticipation. Eyewitness accounts suggest that Scrappy tried to project calm and charisma, but his body language betrayed a slight tension in his shoulders and a careful watch over every move his opponents made, while Kirk maintained a calculated expression and Jock mirrored his stance, ready to escalate if necessary. Sources claim that the VIP staff and security were on high alert, trying to mediate without drawing attention, but the heat of the confrontation was so intense that even those who were not part of the drama felt pulled into the vortex of energy and speculation. Fake investigative reports floating on social media described lavish spending on the night itself, including multiple VIP tables stocked with premium champagne and cocktails and entourages positioned strategically to record every moment for potential leverage later, with anonymous online accounts claiming that this was not just a chance encounter but a premeditated move to assert dominance over Scrappy and send a clear message about influence and status in Atlanta nightlife. The scene quickly escalated into a spectacle as whispers of conspiracy and manipulation spread among clubgoers, with some imagining secret alliances and long-standing grudges that now played out in real time. The reactions were immediate and intense, with guests and observers posting dramatic retellings and embellishments of the confrontation online, some describing it as a standoff that felt like a high-budget movie scene, and others marveling at how three powerful personalities could hold an entire venue in suspense without any physical altercation actually occurring. The speculation about what messages were on the phone, the nature of previous conflicts, and the real motivations behind the confrontation became a topic of heated debate, with everyone from casual fans to local influencers weighing in and adding fuel to the rumor mill. And as the night wore on, the tension did not dissipate. It only seemed to thicken with every glance, every gesture, and every pause between the three men. The sense of drama was so palpable that even the music and lights of the nightclub became secondary to the real story, unfolding in front of hundreds of stunned witnesses who would be talking about the encounter for weeks, if not months, after it had happened. By the time the security personnel stepped in to separate Kirk Frost, young Jock, and Lil Scrappy, the energy in the nightclub had reached a fever pitch, with every person present feeling like they were in the middle of history being made. Insiders claimed that the intervention was tense but decisive, and it forced a temporary pause in what could have escalated into something far more serious, and the crowd, still buzzing with adrenaline, began speculating wildly about what could have happened if no one had intervened, while whispers of backstage deals Alliances and hidden grudges circulated among the VIP guests who were now glued to their phones, recording every second and uploading clips that within minutes had begun to trend across social media platforms, generating thousands of comments, likes, and shares, with some users praising Scrappy for holding his own and others lauding Kirk and Jock for their boldness and strategic approach. Rumors began to swirl, suggesting that there might be repercussions beyond just social media. Gossip, with fictional legal analysts and self-proclaimed investigators claiming that such a high-profile confrontation could invite formal inquiries into nightclub security protocols or even potential lawsuits, despite the fact that no actual physical altercation had taken place. The narrative had already taken on a life of its own, and online discussions ranged from detailed breakdowns of body language to imagined secret plots and betrayals that could explain the tension, and reports from unnamed sources painted a picture of a complex web of relationships and rivalries, with each man seeking to assert dominance while protecting their public image and entertainment brand. The situation also sparked commentary from local influencers who speculated about the future implications for all parties involved, suggesting that endorsements, partnerships, and public perception could be at stake, and some went as far as to suggest that the nightclub itself would become infamous as the scene of one of the most talked about celebrity confrontations in recent memory. And while Kirk and Jock retreated to their VIP booth and Scrappy regrouped with his crew, the underlying tension remained thick, with everyone present sensing that this night was only the beginning of a longer saga that could unfold across future events, parties, and even social media posts. The whispered warnings, intense stares, and subtle gestures that had defined the evening did not dissipate, and conversations among patrons indicated that no one truly believed that peace had been restored. Rather, they recognized that the standoff had set the stage for ours, and subtle gestures that had to seize for the next move in a larger game of influence and reputation in Atlanta's entertainment scene. Analysts and social commentators, both real and imagined, began spinning theories about how alliances might shift, who might benefit, and who could be left vulnerable. And while everyone shared a collective fascination with the drama unfolding in real time, the most important lesson seemed clear. Even without a single punch thrown, the confrontation between Kirk Frost, young Jock, and Lil Scrappy had captured the city's attention, set social media alight, and reminded everyone that in a world fueled by status, power, and perception, a single night in a nightclub could feel like a lifetime of intrigue. And the suspense lingered long after the music continued. Drinks were consumed, and the crowd began to disperse, with every observer left wondering what would happen next. Who would make the first move? And whether this was the start of a legendary feud or simply a dramatic chapter in the ongoing saga of Atlanta's most talked about personalities. So now that you've seen every tense glance, every subtle move, and every moment that had the entire nightclub holding its breath, the question becomes, what happens next? Will Kirk one saw coming? And here is where you come in, because this story isn't just about what we saw, it's about what you think and how you feel about it. Was Scrappy really caught off guard, or was he simply playing the long game? Are Kirk and Jock justified in confronting him, or did they cross a line that could have consequences beyond just a viral video? And let's be honest, if you've been watching closely, you know this isn't just entertainment. It's a masterclass in strategy, ego, and celebrity dynamics that could change everything in Atlanta's nightlife forever. So we want to hear from you. Did Kirk and Jock handle this the right way, or is Scrappy the one holding all the cards? Could this feud escalate to something even bigger, or is it already simmering behind the scenes and waiting for the perfect moment to erupt? Comment below with your take, because every opinion counts, and don't forget to smash that like button if you want more exclusive breaking stories like this, and subscribe with notifications turned on so you never miss a single explosive moment from the world of celebrity drama. Because trust me, this saga is far from over, and every update is going to be bigger, juicier, and even more shocking than the last.